Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're talking about managing your side hustle. So I don't know the exact definition of what a side hustle is, but it's essentially just anything outside of your normal job, so like an extra hobby or an extra thing that you do on the side. Kind of self-explanatory. I'm sure you know what that is anyway, but I'm talking about how you manage that. So I had a few questions of people asking me how I manage doing my YouTube channel, talking to you guys, as well as actually obviously working full-time as well. I've got an open survey where any of you guys can suggest a video idea for me for my YouTube channel, and a couple of people have put on there about how do you manage your side hustle along with like my YouTube, along with my full-time job, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about how I do it and why I think it's still good to keep up and maintain a side hustle. So first of all, the benefits of a side hustle. For me personally, I think that it keeps me busy, so it gives me a bit of a focus. I'm one of those people that I do like to be productive all the time. I do like to keep myself busy, and so it kind of gives me a bit of a purpose, I suppose, as well. And it does, yeah, it just keeps me busy. I know that every Saturday I'm going to be filming, every Sunday that I might be editing, etc. So it gives me plenty to do. I've never sat at home bored and going crazy, especially now that it's lockdown as well. And then more of like a professional side, obviously adds something to your CV. So if you talk about your side hustle in an interview or in your cover letter, CV, etc., it basically just shows that you've got commitment, shows that you've got passion, it shows that you're dedicated to doing something in addition, like voluntary work, rather than just being all about being paid for stuff. I think it's just good to have something extra to bring to the table, especially when you're applying for publishing jobs. They'll always want to know what extra you can bring and what kind of stands you out from the crowd. So I do always recommend to people to have some kind of side hustle, whether it's like a bookstagram or blog or it's a YouTube channel, whatever it is. I think that a lot of those can show skills without you even realising it. That's kind of linking on to my next point about the skills. So I feel like I've really improved on and gained some more skills from doing my YouTube channel. So I've definitely gained a lot of like confidence talking in front of the camera. It's definitely really weird when you first start talking in front of the camera where there's no one there or anything. I still do find it really daunting every time I click the record button. But I've definitely got a lot better at it, and just knowing that it will look better when it comes to the editing stage, but at the moment it just feels really unnatural. And then the editing side of it as well, I had no idea how to use Adobe Premiere Pro, which is what I use at the moment to edit my videos. And I basically just completely self-taught myself how to use Premiere Pro, how to edit, how to zoom in on things, how to change the saturation, anything like that I didn't know before. And that's kind of something that I suppose that again I can kind of bring to a new job or an interview or whatever and say that I've kind of learnt these skills. And even if you just have like a blog, even if it's not about publishing, even if it's about just completely something different. I remember I was on a panel a couple of weeks ago and someone asked that they have like a nature blog, and is that still relevant, including in their cover letter or whatever. And I think it is, because you're kind of still showing your skills, you're still showing that you can write really well, had experience like proofreading your own work. It shows that you have experience using, say, WordPress or Wix or whatever the site is that you're using to put up your blog. It shows maybe like that you're promoting it yourself, etc. So I do think that managing a side hustle, whatever it is good to improve your skills as a whole. And then the final point I wanted to mention as well is like for mental health reasons, because doing this YouTube channel and having this kind of side hustle has helped me mentally, because yes, it's caused me stress sometimes when I'm like, oh, I haven't edited something in time or whatever. Again, it's kind of helped me have a bit of a focus. It's helped me gain my confidence a lot more, not just in front of the camera, but with what I'm doing and what I'm doing at work, connecting with people on Twitter and finding out. But just when people comment and say that my videos are useful, like that genuinely means the world to me, because that improves my mental health, I suppose, in a way, because it kind of boosts my self-esteem. So I think having a side hustle can make you feel quite proud as well, and for a mental health side of it, I think that that's quite important. So I was just going to talk a bit about why I started my YouTube channel. Most people know this because I've spoken about it so many times at like panel events or whatever. I basically started because I spoke on a panel at the Get Into Book Publishing New Writing North panel event thing in November 2020, I think it was, and I really enjoyed that, and it was so fun just to talk about my role as a production assistant. And I had loads of people message me on LinkedIn afterwards, on Twitter, and they had so many questions, and I didn't realise that so many people didn't know what it was that I did and didn't know how many roles there were available in publishing. And obviously I answered everyone's questions, but I didn't know how to kind of get out all the information as much as possible to as many people as possible. And I thought about doing a blog first of all, and I had kind of started doing one on WordPress, and then I decided that no one would read it basically, and it basically just wasn't for me. And then I had this bizarre idea to start a YouTube channel, which I definitely did not think was a bit of me. I kind of just bit the bullet and I started it, and I did my first couple of videos, and I thought actually I could get used to this. So that's kind of that's how I started it. And then the reason for it was, I guess, because there were a lot of people that had a lot of questions about publishing and didn't know where to find the information definition. But just before I started doing my publishing YouTube channel, I just found that there was basically nothing on YouTube to talk about publishing. There's various publishing houses YouTube channels themselves, and they'll talk about different books that they're publishing or whatever, but there's only really a few people that I know that work in publishing that have a booktube channel or whatever, and a lot of the time it's just people that are reviewing books rather than talking about the actual publishing industry. So I kind of saw like a gap in the market, if you like, or gap in where people have knowledge in publishing, and kind of wanted to fill that gap. So I guess that's kind of, yeah, like why I started it. I've connected with so many people since it. Yeah, that's kind of why I started it. From that, what I've gained is networking for sure. I've never connected with so many people online before, because a lot of you guys know I started my Twitter at the same time as my YouTube channel, and I use that a lot of the time to promote my videos, talk about publishing, etc. From there, I've just made so many new connections, I've gained so many new subscribers, so networking has been a massive thing for me. And I do think that if you're doing more of a collaborative side hustle like YouTube, where you're talking on social media, etc., networking is definitely a big bonus that you can get out of it. And another thing I guess I've gained as well is just additional knowledge, because when I'm doing my videos, I will do extra research on top of what I already know about that particular area. So for example, I recently just posted a video about audiobooks, and I explained in that video that I had a day at our audio recording studio at Bloomsbury, but I then had to do some extra research just to basically give a bit more information for you guys, so talk about the history, etc. So I guess another thing that I've learned from doing this side hustle is just extra knowledge, because I'm always trying to back up my answers, always trying to engage with new people and have their opinions heard as well. So that's another kind of bonus of having a side hustle for me. I'm sure a lot of you listening now have probably already got your own side hustle, but if you are thinking of starting something yourself, what advice would I give? I would definitely say be organised and plan as much as possible. If you've seen one of my videos, I talk about the spreadsheet that I have where I plan all my videos, I plan all the interviews that I'm having, I plan all of my videos on a piece of paper as well. Just try and basically be on top of it all the time, because I think that when you're doing a side hustle, it's easy to kind of get carried away and think, okay, you're not being paid for it or anything, no one's checking up on you, and so it can be easily kind of forgotten about. Whereas I do think if you're willing to stick to it, then you do need to plan and be organised. I would also say once you've started, just analyse constantly how you're doing, see what's working, see what's not working. I'm guilty at looking at my numbers all the time, seeing my subscribers, seeing my view counts, and YouTube is fantastic that it has the YouTube analytics, and so it tells you how long people stay on a video for, whereabouts your audience is based in the world, what gender they are, at what point they dipped out, anything like that, and it's really useful, and that kind of helps me plan a lot of my videos. Even if my video does really well, so I have loads of views and I think, okay, that's obviously what people want to watch, the ones that don't do as well, that's still helpful, because I think if people aren't viewing it, or if they're like leaving the video at a certain point, I think, okay, that's obviously not what's not working, that's what I can avoid in future. So I would just say as well, just constantly analyse your performance, keep on top of what's doing well and what's not doing well, and use that to help you with what to avoid in future. In contrast to this, I would just say just don't put too much pressure on yourself, and don't feel guilty if you haven't posted online in a while, or if you haven't done whatever it is on your side hustle for a while, because I think because it's you and it's your side hustle and it's kind of your brand name, you can feel a lot of pressure to keep on top of it. And especially with me, I always try to post every Wednesday an interview with an industry professional, and then every weekend a video that I've created myself for you guys. And I do definitely feel pressure that if I haven't filmed it in time, I'll just have to quickly film it, and it might not be as good quality, or I'm editing it and I think, okay, my editing skills are not as good as like professional YouTubers or anything, and I do just sometimes have to take a step back and think, I'm only doing this as kind of a hobby and to help people in publishing. I'm not getting paid for it, and this is just more of like a hobby for me. I'm guilty of it as well. I do have to remind myself to stop putting pressure on myself. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even the videos that I thought would do really badly, people have commented or messaged me and said they found it useful, so that's always really nice as well if other people can reassure you. But just to reassure yourself, not to feel guilty, don't put too much pressure on yourself. And then kind of similarly to this, it's okay to give up on it as well completely. If you start a side hustle and are really not enjoying it, you're not getting a lot of engagement from it, and it's too much pressure and you don't have enough time, it's okay to give up. I don't think that there's anything wrong with trying something and then giving up. It's just obviously if you haven't tried it in the first place, you're never going to know what it's like. So I'm glad that I started my YouTube channel, obviously, because I've come so far already in the last few months. I don't think that, you know, I'd always said to myself, even if I just post a couple of videos and then quit, at least I've had that kind of experience and that exposure to what it's like filming and posting on YouTube. But I think it's okay that if it's really not working for you, you can just forget about that and you can try something new instead. I think being honest and open is really key as well, like with your audience. If you say, you know, I've really not had a good month, then I'm not going to be working on my side hustle that much or posting on social media or whatever it is that your side hustle is, just so people are in the loop as well. Just more of like a decency and to have a bit of like personality to your side hustle as well, just keeping people up to date with what you're like as a person and what's been going on for you. And then as a result, if you are feeling behind on something something, just be honest and say, you know, I'm taking a step back or whatever. And then kind of dealing with any kind of hate or backlash, I think it's really important to just kind of focus on yourself. I'm so guilty at looking at other YouTubers and other people on Twitter or whatever and comparing myself, and it's so easily done, and it's so easy to say don't compare yourself to others than it is to actually do that. But I do just think you have to kind of ignore any negative comments, focus on all of the really good things that you've been doing, feel proud of yourself. If people have said that they're finding my videos useful, that's so helpful to me, and I just have to focus on that. You know, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and so it's a long process for me, especially in terms of YouTube. And so I think, yeah, I've got to just focus on myself, and you should be doing the same as well. Don't care what other people think, basically. So that's all I have to say about managing your side hustle and what it's been like from my personal experience. If you've got a side hustle, please plug it down below so I can check it out. Whether it's a blog, it's an Instagram, it's a YouTube channel, whatever, share it down below as a shameless self-promo. And I hope you found this useful if you are looking to start a side hustle and you're not sure how to deal with it and manage it on top of your workload. But yeah, for now, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you in my next one.